Will not come to order. Ms. McNamara, would you please call the roll?
Dr. Spangler? Here. Mr. Payne?
Here.
Ms. Davis?
Here.
Ms. Wright?
Here.
Ms. Sellis?
Here.
Mr. Worthy?
Here.
Ms. Williams?
Here.
Mr. Huff?
Here.
Ms. Thornton?
Here.
Thank you. Do we have any amendments to the agenda?
Yes, President Worthy, I sent an email out to board members this afternoon, and my apologies. I'm asked that we remove item 10 with our targets. Essentially, we've put a lot of energy into doing our grant, and we're clarifying with the state, and I feel we should wait and get those two in November. We have ample time to review them. So I'd ask to remove number 10.
Okay, do we have any other amendments? Okay, you heard the request from the superintendent to remove item 10. I need a motion on that. Moved by Ms. Thornton, got a second by Mr. Huff. If you don't have any questions, all in favor? Thank you very much. Motion passed, okay? Need a motion to adopt the agenda. Moved by Dr. Spangler, seconded by Mr. Payne. All in favor? Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like for you to stand, join us in a moment of silent meditation, and we'll follow that with the Pledge of Allegiance. Here. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Recognition of achievements and awards. Lisa, there you are.
Good evening, Mr. President, Mr. Superintendent, and members of the board. Tonight, I am pleased to recognize many outstanding individuals from the Clarke County School District. Honorees, when I call your name, please come forth, accept your certificate, and shake the board members' hands. First, we'd like to recognize our 3 National Merit semifinalists. The National Merit Scholarship Corporation recently announced the names of its semifinalists in the 58th Annual National Merit Scholarship Program. 3 academically talented high school students tapped in Clarke County now have an opportunity to continue in the competition for some 8,000 scholarships worth more than $32 million. Around 1.5 million juniors and more than 20,000 high schools entered the program by taking the 2011 preliminary SAT. The nationwide pool of semifinalists represents less than 1% of U.S. high school seniors, the highest scoring entrants in each state. And we have 2 from Cedar Shoals, Akshay Hariani Aaron Hollander. You all may remember that Aaron represented us in the International Science Fair this summer.
Go ahead.
Congratulations. And from Clarke Central High School, Katie Googe.
All right. Congratulations.
Around 1,600 African-American high school seniors have been designated semifinalists in the 49th Annual National Achievement Scholarship Program. These semifinalists will advance to the next round of competitions. Semifinalists are the highest scoring program entrants. From Cedar Shoals High School, Da Vinci Lucas. And from Clarke Central High School, Sherry Armour. And we also have a National Merit Hispanic Recognition Program honoree. That program was initiated in 1983 to identify outstanding Hispanic or Latino high school students and to share with them information about colleges and universities. Honorees must make a specific cutoff score on the SAT as well as a specific GPA. And tonight we'd like to honor Grace Byrne from Clarke Central High School.
Congratulations.
That's outstanding. Clark Central High School's Odyssey News magazine recently received top honors from the National Scholastic Press Association, Columbia Scholastic Press Association, and Quill and Scroll Honor Society. The news magazine is staffed by 26 high school students and is advised by English teacher David Ragsdale. Specifically, the Odyssey received an All-American evaluation by the National Scholastic Press Association, as well as marks of distinction for coverage and content, writing and editing, photos, arts and graphics, and leadership. The magazine was rated as a gold medalist in the Columbia Scholastic Press Association's newspaper critique for 2012. It also received all Columbian honors, which is the highest ranking for essentials, visual and verbal. And the magazine received superior evaluation for overall coverage, visuals, writing and editing from the Quill and Scroll Honor Society, thus earning a Henry Gallup Award, which is the top recognition given. And tonight we'd like to recognize the leadership team from the Odyssey: Chloe Hargrave, Editor-in-Chief; Hannah Dunn, Grand Prix Digital Managing Editor; Jenny Alpaw, Print Managing Editor; and Advisor David Ragsdale. And we would just like at this time to ask the other Odyssey students if you would please stand so we can give all of you a round.
There you go, David.
Excellent. Great job, kids. Congratulations. Awesome, awesome, wonderful.
Amazing job. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Next, we would like to recognize the winners from the school district's Transportation Department Bus Safety Poster Contest. And the school district's Office of Transportation recently announced the winners of the contest, and this year's theme was Stay Back from the Yellow and Black. And this year throughout the school district, students have been delighting in the annual skits at all of our elementary schools. For Division 1, we'd like to recognize our first and second place winners, and this division was for kindergarten through second grade. Our first place is Fernando Bravo, and he's in second grade at Oglethorpe Avenue Elementary School.
Congratulations, young folks. Bravo.
Thank you.
And second place from Winterville Elementary School is Sherlyn Acosta Heredia. We'd also like to recognize our Division 2 winners, our first and second place winners, and these were the third through fifth grade winners. First place, Roxy Pena Pineda in fourth grade at Cleveland Road Elementary School.
Keep up the good work, young lady.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And second place in fifth grade, Fred Malcolm. Good job.
Congratulations, young lady.
Thank you. Great job. Outstanding. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
Great job. Congratulations.
Kill them all.
Like, well.
And finally tonight, we'd like to recognize our 4-star Employee Award winners. And again, these are employees that can be nominated by anyone in the community, from parents to students to their colleagues to anyone that comes in contact with them and has been touched by what they do. So I'll read about them and then we'll call that honoree up. First is Edith Brown from Cleveland Road Elementary School. She's a special education teacher and team leader, and she was nominated for this award by Lisa Buckner, who is a teacher at Cleveland Road in deaf and hard, and she's also the deaf hard of hearing coordinator for RESA. She said, Edith Brown is one of our most proactive teacher leaders. She has a lot of responsibility working with her special needs students in addition to her other responsibilities as SPED team leader. Ms. Brown goes above and beyond her duty requirements by making sure that all teachers in our department are up to date on the latest special education information and organizes our meetings. She also willingly serves as LEA at SPED meetings, including the RESA Deaf Hard of Hearing Regional Program that is housed at Cleveland Road. Ms. Brown is often seen leaving school several hours past dismissal time. She's always collecting data or creating instructional resources for her students. Mrs. Brown presents herself with a positive attitude daily. She is extremely approachable for advice and is eager to help other teachers in a time of need without hesitation. I'm a better leader and teacher because of her guidance. And now we'd like to recognize Ms. Edith Brown.
Thank you for your hard work.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Our next honoree is Cynthia Hobrecht. She's a home educator with the Early Learning Center, and she was nominated for this award by Dorsey Stroop, who is an education specialist supporting home education. And this is a little bit lengthy, but I thought that this was so compelling that I'd like to share it all. As a home educator with Early Head Start, Cynthia Hobrecht works directly with families who face challenges as they prepare their children for school and take positive steps to move themselves out of poverty. She meets each family where they are and skillfully provides the necessary scaffolding for them to meet their personal goals. Her observational skills, reflective nature, and knowledge of community resources allow her to be immediately responsive to any situation a particular family member may be facing. She has a vast knowledge of child development, and she is highly skilled at supporting parent-child interactions that directly impact the school readiness of our earliest learners. She's a team player who is more than willing to do whatever it takes. From working in the home to planning and supporting family group socials, Cynthia is our go-to person. She's willing to take on any task, from organizing and setting up events, being sure learning environments are well maintained, providing childcare for parent training, or whatever work needs to be done. She is an outstanding time manager and is often the first on her team to complete any assignment. She understands the importance of collecting accurate and thorough data and knows how to use that data to drive the work she does. As a bilingual home educator, she has the skill set to communicate and connect with some of our most vulnerable families. She is a model lifelong learner. She actively participates in all professional learning and immediately responds to any new initiatives. She encourages and supports other members of the home education team who may not have the knowledge or experience she does in a particular area. She was also a member of the prenatal committee and was instrumental in developing the goals for this school year. Home educators must have a unique set of skills to be effective in their positions. They must know how to meet families wherever they are without judgment. They must know how to effectively access a wide range of community services. They must understand the difference between scaffolding and enabling a family, and they must be highly skilled at the former. They must have a clear understanding of the Georgia Early Learning Standards and other school readiness requirements. They must understand child development. They must know how to separate the emotional, draining, and often exhausting work they do from their personal lives so they remain strong and healthy. Cynthia Hobrecht is the model for these skills.
Awesome.
I'm tired. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
It's wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Okay. Next is Abby Hughes. She is a gifted teacher at J.J. Harris Elementary Charter School, and she was nominated for this award by a collaborating teacher, Catherine Brown. And here's what Ms. Brown had to say. Abby Hughes is an exceptional teacher. She is a leader within the school and a member of the School Improvement Leadership Team. She has led multiple professional development sessions to school staff and gifted teachers in Clarke County in implementing the school-wide enrichment model. Mrs. Hughes has worked on many teams to develop units and assessments in the area of mathematics. She is an expert in mathematics instruction and teaches her advanced math students with enthusiasm and best practices daily. Teachers within the building and throughout the district come to Mrs. Hughes for advice and support, and she is always willing to lend a helping hand or answer questions. Mrs. Hughes puts forth great effort in planning and constantly works to better her teaching. Her students love learning with her, and her colleagues appreciate all that she does. Abby Hughes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Thanks for giggling it on there. It's nice. It's good. No, it's good. It's good.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for what you do. How are you? Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thanks so much. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And next is Angie Rudo. She is with the Office of Early Learning and Barnett Shoals Elementary School, and she was nominated for this award by Malia Keaton Digby. And she said, Angie is a hardworking speech-language pathologist. She goes above and beyond what is required for her job. She sincerely loves all the children she works with, and this comes across in how she interacts with them. I see her at work before hours and after hours, making visual cues and picture boards for her young nonverbal students. She deserves to be recognized for all the love, energy, and dedication she shows to our county's youngest children. Angie?
Keep up the good
Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations.
Great job. That's what you did.
Thank you.
And we also had another bus safety contest winner join us. Our second place winner from Division 1, Sherlyn Acosta Heredia, second grade, Winterville Elementary School.
Hello there.
Nice to meet you. Congratulations.
We're so proud to give this to you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And on behalf of the school district, I'd again like to congratulate all of tonight's winners. You represent your school district and community very well. We're so proud of all of you and grateful for what you do.
And also as well, I concur, it just comes every month. It comes at us from different corners that we are able to see our students, our faculty members, our community members show their talents, show their dedication and commitment to the district. So it just makes us start a great meeting. So thank you for what you do, and thank you for sharing that with us tonight.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lanou. We're going to go ahead and move the agenda. We're down to item B, minutes of the previous meetings. Board members, I'm quite sure you'll review those minutes, and I'll entertain a motion for approval. Moved by Ms. Williams. Got a second? Second by Mr. Huff. Any questions about these minutes? Board meetings. Any questions? All in favor? Motion passed unanimously. Thank you very much. We're into that prayer. Get out.
Yeah, a couple of minutes.
That just leaves us with Tim. Let's talk about everybody leave it. But you.
A large crowd tonight.
Some college observers. Oh, we all on the second home.
Just got to go to school every morning.
Well, I can't do two as well.
Stuff in here.
We got some observers tonight. Little class assignment.
Ready to move? Okay, we're down to item C, Superintendent's report. Dr. Lanou.
Superintendent's report, just to note your important packet. Also, some received a packet with benefits. It's an envelope. That's a presentation that we've been having around the district, and also it pertains to you. You can access some of our benefits, so that's for your information. And certainly, if there are any questions, we can set up some times to meet for clarification. But at least it'll get you going on what the new benefits packages that we're offering this year.
Okay.
Also, a number of items today. First, this goes out to the Cedar Shoals community and to Mr. Worthy. let me stand corrected. Our Blue Ribbon School for Chase was the first elementary school, but not the first school in the district. You know, if you're going to make oversights, this is not the one you want to make. But I did.
For sure.
But I did. But I was corrected. I want to go for the record that when Mr. Worthy was the principal, Cedar Shoals High School was a national Blue Ribbon school. So I want to make sure that that goes into the record and corrected. I stand corrected, I hope.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. It's well deserved, and I want to make sure I got that cleared up. The next is, let's see where I'm going to start. Let me start with the Iliad. And I just want to go out to everyone here about Metamorphosis. You all should have a copy, and this is to our community members. I've seen a lot of incredible work in my 34 years in high schools and in districts. I'm not sure I've seen work that is this quality of presentation and this quality of content. So my, you know, just kudos to the Iliad writers, and to present such a piece of work is truly phenomenal. So as a community member, if you can get a copy of this, it may be the best piece of literature you've chosen this year. It's excellent. The next is the grant, and I guess smiling of Dr. Price over there, the technology grant. Look at her. So I mentioned last week that it was pretty intense, and I'm going to ask Dr. Price if she would just talk about a little few minutes about that process and where we're at with the technology grant. Yeah, please, if you could. By the way, and again, kudos to all the team, Dr. Price, Dr. Tavernier, the grant writers from UGA, all of our investors in this. It's been a pretty phenomenal process. So, Dr. Price, if you can just talk a little bit about that.
Right. Well, the grant is a Race to the Top grant. It's the first time that districts are allowed to apply directly to the federal government. Our district is eligible for a grant ranging from $20 to $30 million. Our budget was $29.7 million. We got as close as possible to the $30 million. 900 school districts submitted a letter of intent to apply. Out of those 939 are in the state of Georgia. And only 15 to 25 grants will be awarded in the nation. So we know that it is very competitive, but we believe that we put together a very strong grant. The application process requires us to submit the grant application first to the Georgia DOE and to the mayor of Athens, Clarke County for feedback. They have 10 business days to give us that feedback, which would put us at October 23rd. And then we have around 5 days to turn it back around before we have to ship it to Washington, D.C. So the process has been a collaborative effort with the University of Georgia, with whatever it takes. Tim Johnson has been very instrumental in helping us with the community component of the grant, as well as TSAV, which is a private company here in Athens, Clarke County. And so we have spent since, I don't know, the last 8 weeks working on it. Our challenge came in when Tony retired. Tony Reed, our Director of Grants and Research, retired on September 28th.
So who became Tony Reed?
I became Tony Reed.
I just want to know for the record among everything else.
So we worked, but again, it was really a team effort with instructional services, with UGA, with Family Connection, Communities in School, and TSAV, and putting it all together. We spend a number of weekends, number of hours. Monday we spend from 8 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the evening revising the grant. And we delivered it on Tuesday to the Georgia DOE, and Dr. Lanou delivered it to Mayor Denson Tuesday afternoon. So we are waiting to hear, and then we'll submit it, and we are expected to hear whether we are a grant winner by December. So we're pretty confident, and Dr. Lanou has explained some of the components, so if you want to speak to that. So.
But I would say too, and if you backtrack, you said Monday, but I want you to know that on Sunday, I logged in on the joint conversation from 7 at night to 10:30 on Sunday night. You started at 8:30. And I know Juan, with the project manager, was pushing, and Dr. Price goes, "I know, but I'm at Adderhall. It's 11:15. But that was just one night of many. Yeah. So it's been great work.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It will be great for our district, so.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, can you clarify who or what TSAV is, that
Yeah.
component? I'm just unfamiliar with it.
Technology.
Yeah, it's a company in town. Peter Dugas is the person that we've been working with as a consultant in our schools.
Okay.
And this part of this grant is really part of some of Peter's vision and our vision that we collectively put together, as he's done a lot of work with individualized, personalized systems overseas, particularly Saudi Arabia and the Middle East. And we saw this as a really opportunity to take some ideas from different components and put it together in this kind of package. This is a very unique package because we are developing a system not just for Clarke County but for the state of Georgia, and that can be used nationally and internationally. And we think of course you don't know all the others, but it's one of a kind because it's not about buying something off the shelf. This is about design and development, about personalized systems that is not out there, and it's very exciting. So I hope the readers are as excited as we are about it.
And I just want to say that UGA provided 2 of their grant writers to work with us and one of their researchers as a project manager.
So
And they've been,
tremendous. So if you think that in the midst of all of their grant writing, we had basically full-time over here, 3 full-time UGA grant writers, which I think is probably pretty unheard of in most arenas. And there were 2 one from College of Education, one was from College of Research, and the other
2 from the College of Education.
2 from College of Education, and 1 from the research arm of the university. So there's some stakeholders in here that are, I would put them in the heavy hitter category. So in the field of technology.
TSAV stands for, isn't it like technology, sound, audio, visual, or something?
I think so.
Specialty.
Yeah, totally. I'll have to look that up.
Yeah.
I think it's something like that.
I think
it's audio visual.
I'm betting on T for technology.
But it's all
for sure.
just it's a technology
Yes,
based
it is.
business.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So
And I just want to make sure that, that the partners are, Clarke County is the lead
right.
as far as the grant, that you have the University of Georgia, you have Whatever It Takes, you have TSAB, and you have the Georgia Department of Education also as a partner in this grant as well.
The Department of Education's role was we met with Bob Swigum, probably about 2 months ago in the summer, and certainly because of the guidelines the state has, but they are supporting this because if this develops into how we have pictured it, it will be able to be scaled through the state Department of Ed. So they are supportive behind us, but they can't do some of the things we can. But it will position the state of Georgia to really take a lead in personalized learning environments.
That's great.
So, and with that, hey Ted, we ready for some photos? You see working the. So 2 things I want to mention to our community. One is the tech blog. Let's start there. Do you have the tech blog? Okay. And thanks to Anissa and Ryan Behrens, who was our tech coordinator, and our instructional technologists, we were determining how to get information out about our technology so that people have running conversations about what's happening. So we've created a blog. So for those out there that want to know how we're progressing in our rollout of technology, there'll be a button. It will look like this on the side of our website. This is our technology blog, and it will provide lots of information to the external, which are those outside. So if you want to know how the tech rollout is going, this will get you some real time and, of course, some historical perspective or information on the rollout. But if you go back to the, you got the is that in the very top? This photo is on there. I just want you to know that this, when people say how young will people engage, this is what, kindergarten? So at Whit Davis, this is kindergarten. I think they're pretty engaged. So as you can see, it's never too young for them to engage in the kinds of activities that we see important for them. And like I said, we saw that at 5th grade. We've seen it in 4th grade. Now it's kindergarten. It can happen. So I want to just thank those that put the blog together and those working on our rollout, because so far it's been overall pretty smooth. You know, we have some bumps in the road here and there, but
This was at Harvey Stroud.
this is Stroud.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yeah. The other piece I'd like to mention is a poster that Anissa has.
I have it.
You've got it as well. We're really working on getting information out to our students and our community of those graduates that have gone on and fulfilled some of their dreams and aspirations. And if you can maybe explain the two that we have, and these posters are in every school, but you can explain the backdrop.
So this came out of, we were doing an ad with Move Magazine. We partner with them and they're an athletic magazine. And so I thought, well, let's have an ad that relates to our scholar athletes. And we also had this ad, again, made into posters for all of our elementary, middle, and high schools. And these are recent graduates, and I was able to interview both of them. Tori Ball, just to give you an idea of just how amazing our students are. Tori Ball is a recent graduate from Cedar Shoals High School. He graduated class of 2007. He was the football team captain at Syracuse University on the Big East All-Academic team. He's already earned his master's degree, and he works there in the athletic department. And he said about his educational experience here, "My high school career laid a solid foundation for the man that I'm growing into. The African proverb, 'It takes a village to raise a child,' is truly how I define my high school experience. My teachers and administrators were like family that taught me more than math and literature. They taught me many life lessons." So this student was on the all-academic team, and his teammates named him captain. And that just shows not just the character of this young man, and he was just a joy to speak with. And then I also interviewed Erica Malagon, and she is still at the University of Georgia, and she was on their swim team her first 4 years. She's preparing to go to medical school. She competed in the 2012 Olympic trials, and she was the recipient of the Marilyn Vincent Scholar Athlete Award, and that is for the female student athlete at UGA who finishes with the highest GPA. And she's pursuing a double major in cellular biology and Spanish. And she said, "At Clarke Central, not only did my teachers challenge me to learn and give my best every day, they gave me a sense of self-confidence that I have carried with me ever since." And these are just two shining examples. We have 50 current college athletes, 3 professional coaches, and 1 professional athlete. And so this is just a way to kind of showcase and show our community, you know, what our students go on to achieve. So we just wanted to share this with all of you tonight.
Thank you.
And Anissa, again, I appreciate that when you see something that's an opportunity, because this is an opportunity for, we feel, our current students to take a look at it. And if you set your goals and your dreams, you know, that's where you can be. It's terrific. And with that, I'm going to end my report for this evening. Thank you, President Warren.
Thank you, Dr. Lanou. We're going to continue to move the agenda. We're down to item E, report of current committees.
SPLOS 2 and 3 reports are included in your packet. I'd ask that we approve the financial report for June FY12, FY13, and August FY13. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
June.
Yes.
June.
June 12. July.
FY13.
18.
August.
Are we clear on that?
Yes.
Sorry, I don't.
In fact, I think Mr. Hammond sent this on our iPad.
Right.
We have a motion from Mr. Payne. Need a second on that? Second from Dr. Spangler. Any questions about the financial report? Any questions about the financial report? All in favor? Thank you. Motion passed unanimously.
Great, thank you. GSBA report. Mr. Payne.
Dr. Lanou and to the board, I am very excited about my report tonight. We had a meeting with Georgia School Board Association on last Wednesday. All 14 of the district members supported Sis Henry in her initiative to get the word out about charter schools. Not only that, but her staff is behind her, and many of the superintendents across the state is behind her. she is having a very difficult time. Those people who are for this charter school amendment, they are very vocal, they are very mean, and they are very outspoken. She was one of the person that with her group that went to the meeting that they were invited to, not the other side, but they were invited to. And when they got there, the other side had all the seats, and so they couldn't sit down. And one of the ladies behind hit the lady in the head with a sign. So they're very vocal. I would ask all of you to, those of you who are spiritual, to remember her in your prayers. Remember J. Alvin Wilbanks, who is the superintendent of Clarke County School, who led the charge to, in the beginning, to get the charter school before the people and the Supreme Court, and he won the case. And they have him back in court now. So that is one of the things that's happening. But we are not going to back up. We aren't going to retreat. We're going to fight on and win this battle. The other thing that I want to say is that on Wednesday night, I was fortunate enough to have dinner with the state school superintendent. And ladies and gentlemen, he is a fine individual. I've never met a man that was so dedicated and so humble and so willing to do all that he can for the children of the state of Georgia. And I would like for you to remember him in your prayers as well. And it was just so wonderful to have a state school superintendent who realized and to know that if you don't love children, then you're in the wrong business. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Payne. We're going down to item F, old business, Dr. Lanou.
Old business, and this is the attendance at annual conferences by board members. I would ask that we first remove it to table. I've got one edit and before approval. So first, I recommend that we remove it from the table.
I need a motion to remove this item from the table. Moved by Ms. Ellis, got a second by Mr. Payne. All in favor? Okay, it's off the table. Motion passed, okay?
And I'd ask that we approve the attendance at conferences with the following addition. Ms. Williams will be going to the GSBA legal pre-conference, and we'll add that to that. It would just be the entrance fee or tuition, conference fee, registration fee. Thank you.
1 day there and back.
In 1 day, and back.
Okay, we all clear on this? There's some information on your iPad. I have it in my notebook about these conferences and whatnot. We had it last week, so we all clear on this?
Yes.
Need a motion. Moved by Mr. Payne, seconded by Mr. Huff. Any questions about this? Any questions? All in favor? Thank you very much. Motion passed. Okay. New business, Dr. Lanou.
New business, recommend approval of the consent agenda.
Recommendation from the superintendent on the consent agenda. Moved by Ms. Wright. Got a second by Ms. Davis. All in favor? Thank you very much. Motion passed.
Number 10 was removed, going to number 11. And again, these were the initiatives under the under our health objective for children. I'd ask that we approve the modifications to the strategic plan for healthy children initiatives.
Okay, that's item 11.
So moved.
Got moved by Ms. Wright. Got a second from Mr. Payne. Any questions about item 11? Any questions? All in favor? Okay.
Thank you. If I could just make a note about that, as Anissa and I have been visiting the deans, as you know, that this particular initiative, these 4 initiatives, have been really connecting to the University of Georgia. In particular, today we were working with the dean from the College of Pharmacy. There are things that our university does that we don't know that are tremendous resources for us. So in the number of deans we made that connection. Even so, today strengthens that the work that we're asking our district to do is really the work and focus of many of the departments at the university. So I need to throw that out there, that we're seeing, would you agree, Anissa, that we're seeing tremendous overlap in the conversations that we're having, that they're having the same conversations at the university? So I just know.
Thank you, Dr. Lanou. We're down to item 12. Been much discussion about item 12, resolution in support of the quality education. I'm going to ask our attorney to speak to this, and then we'll come back to that item. Okay?
Thank you, Mr.
Benton? Mr. President, Dr. Lanou, members of the board, you have before you, I believe, a hard copy of the resolution in support of quality public education. I believe it would be appropriate for me to read that for those people who are present this evening who might not know. They can see it on the screen, but I would believe it'd be appropriate to read it so that if you have questions, I'll attempt to answer them. Be it resolved on this 11th day of October 2012, the Clarke County Board of Education requests that the governor and state legislators commit their support to adequately fund a quality K-12 public education for students in Clarke County schools and across the state of Georgia, to acknowledge the traditional and locally approved charter schools that have offered quality choice and outstanding performance, to support the system currently in place for appealing and funding locally denied charter schools, and to effectively focus on public policy that results in high-performing schools throughout the state of Georgia in lieu of a constitutional amendment. Be it resolved that the Clarke County Board hereby requests that no authority other than local school boards have the responsibility to oversee public education in their school district communities. Be it resolved that the Clarke County Board of Education authorizes and directs the superintendent to send an official copy of this resolution to the governor, appropriate state representatives and senators, the State Board of Education, and the Georgia Department of Education. In responding to that, as I've been asked by the president of the board, as you probably know, an opinion came out from the Attorney General several days ago concerning the expenditure of public funds with respect to any issue that would be on the ballot. For many, many years, I've advised this Board of Education and the superintendents of this school district that public funds could not be spent on any ballot issue, whether it be SPLOST or something else, with respect to telling or suggesting to voters about how they should vote. I draw your attention to the fact that this resolution, which I've just read, does not suggest to anyone about how they should vote, nor is there any public money being spent in connection with the adoption of this resolution. You probably know from having read the paper and seen television and listened to the radio that a lawsuit was filed in Fulton County against the Fulton County School District and against Gwinnett County School District in connection with this matter. And there was also some allegations in the lawsuit asking that all school districts in Georgia be enjoined from opposing the constitutional amendment. This resolution which you have before you doesn't say anything about opposing that or spending or the expenditure of any public funds. Yesterday a hearing was held before the Honorable Wendy Shube, Superior Court Judge in Fulton County. Judge Shube denied the request to grant a preliminary injunction against Fulton County, and that was one of the thrusts of that lawsuit was the fact that a question and answer matter was posted on the website of the Fulton County School District, and Judge Shube denied the request to issue an injunction to stop Fulton County from publishing questions and answers on their website. Also, Judge Shube informed the plaintiff's attorney that he would need to take the matter up with the courts of Gwinnett County and not Fulton County. As a matter of information to you, I was never concerned about the judge enjoining all of the school districts in Georgia because they were not parties to that lawsuit and not subject to the jurisdiction of the Fulton County Superior Court. How you vote on this is your own desire about whether or not you want to support this resolution which has been prepared and which is before you, whether you vote against it or whether you vote for it
is your prerogative as a member of this Board of Education. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. You've heard from our attorney. You have the resolution before you. If you have any questions or comments, we'll listen to those at this time. If not, I'm going to call for you. Go ahead, Ms. Williams.
I just wanted to question about directing the superintendent to send a letter, if that would be appropriate, or with the passing of a resolution by our board.
That will really be, the resolution which you have before you will be signed by in the event it's adopted this evening, would be signed by the president on behalf of the Board of Education if it's approved. The signature of the secretary would simply certify that the board adopted this resolution, and that's what the secretary generally does, and affixes the seal on it. Now, whether or not Dr. Lanou wants to send a letter saying I'm enclosing this resolution which is adopted by members of the Board of Education is in his discretion, or whether he just wants to mail the certified copy of the resolution, that's up to him.
This resolution, actually, we are directing him to do this.
You're directing him to send this resolution to the governor, to appropriate members of the Senate and House, to members of the State Board of Education, or to the State Board of Education, and to the Georgia Department of Education. He's being directed by you to do it.
And
if you adopt this resolution.
Right, but my question is that appropriate to?
I believe it's not only appropriate, I believe that members of the Board of Education have the right and authority to support public education, because that's what they were elected to do, to support public education in the community and see that funds that are generated through taxes are spent appropriately.
That's not what she's asking.
But if I can, and I'm not sure this is a question, is as a superintendent, I will take your direction either way on this resolution.
The letter plus the resolution.
Well,
we're not directed for a letter. I think she's asking, are we putting Dr. Lanou in jeopardy by spending his time when his salary is being paid for with taxpayer dollars, asking him to do something that could be perceived as supporting this resolution?
I do. Superintendents of schools are expected to speak out in support of public education. If they're invited to come to the Kiwanis Club and speak and tell about what's going on in public education in Clarke County, of course he's getting a salary for it. And he goes down to the Kiwanis Club and speaks on it. You can't expect him to remain mute.
Do you need us to donate some paper to print this on? I'd be happy to donate 50 sheets of paper to print it on.
Yeah.
We have enough.
I think Ms. Williams.
Hold on.
So this resolution, and I'll go back to what Carol was leading off to. So Dr. Lanou is the only person that can sign this and send it wherever it needs to go.
No, I got to sign it too.
Well, you're a board member, but I'm talking about a staff person. I mean, it's mandatory as he being the secretary of the board, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we don't want to find.
I've been representing this board for 31 years, and the Board of Education has instructed the superintendent many times to sign the certificate on resolutions that it passes and adopts and send it to whomever. When there's a person appointed to this Board of Education, the superintendent has to sign a certificate that you folks voted to appoint someone to fill a vacancy on the Board of Education. It's the law that the secretary of the Board of Education signs the certificate of resolutions that are officially adopted by this Board of Education.
Here we go.
Go ahead.
I just want to make the motion whenever it's time.
Do we have any other questions?
Whenever it's time.
Hold on.
That's my prerogative. Please.
I'll give it to you if I can second it.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
We ready.
Can you work Tea Party in there somewhere?
And then we talk after we need a motion second.
Wait, folks, we're getting out of order here. Do I have any other questions? Do we have any other questions? I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Moved by Mr. Payne. Second by Ms. Thorne. I guess I need to call for questions again.
Yeah, you do.
All righty, questions.
Or comments.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Linda.
Questions?
I have any questions? I'm done.
Oh, good. Well,
Yeah, that's right.
I'll get my time. I'm glad that I felt well to be here as opposed to last week when this came up, and I'm glad it stayed on the agenda. I think a lot of people in the community have been wondering and listening for our voice. I know all of us have our individual voice. It's been out and about, and people need to remember that we are the Board of Education, and we make decisions twice a month at this table. And here we are, and I'm glad that we're in a timely manner for this to get our vote and hopefully move forward so that everybody knows that we're in support of the comments that we made here. Every time we have budget hearings, we start off the presentation with the lack of funding from the mandated formula coming from the state, and then this is also very important for people to understand the crisis that we are in, and all the county, all the districts are with funding, and the implications that can come from, and our support needed.
Do we have any other questions? Ms. Williams?
If I may make one more comment.
Sure.
Since we are about education, and we do want our community to be educated, and I would encourage them as well to heed the words in our resolution, but at the same time to read the legislation and make sure that they're well-versed to be able to articulate legislatively what is going on with the amendment on the ballot.
Okay, very well taken. Ms. Thornton, you have a question?
For a change, I will keep it to myself.
Okay. Any other questions? All in favor? Motion passed unanimously.
Yay.
Item 13.
Item 13. I'm not going to read all the policies, but I ask that the policies and regulations as stated be placed on the table for 4 weeks.
Yeah, we reviewed these policies and regulations last week. Got a motion from Ms. Wright, got a second from Ms. Davis. All in favor of placing these on the table for 4 weeks? Thank you very much. Motion passed unanimously. Item, where are we?
We're right down there. We're down.
We down to personnel recommendations, Mr. Superintendent.
Recommend approval of personnel recommendations and addenda.
Okay, in your yellow packet and also in your electronic packet, you had a recommendation on personnel from the superintendent. You reviewed that? Okay, I need a motion. Well, let's see, Mr. Payne?
Yes.
Seconded by Dr. Spangler. All in favor? Don't have any questions on this, folks. We don't discuss this openly. All in favor? Did y'all have your hands up? Okay, thank you.
You didn't look fast enough.
Y'all put your hands down too quick. Okay. Motion for adjournment, Ms. Wright. Seconded by Ms. Davis. Okay. All in favor? Raise your hand on me.
I'm out.